Dear ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to welcome you today. My name is Łukasz Kiewicz and I represent Education and Information Campaigns Unit in the Consumer Policy Department.
My name is Ewa Domańska and I represent the same unit. Today we will be talking about consumer policy of the President of UKA.
The main goal of consumer policy is effective protection of consumers' interest. UKA's three main pillars are regulation, support and education. In our department, we are focused on direct actions for the consumers of the telecommunications market, support and education. We intervene in matters relating to the functioning of the telecommunications service market. We also conduct out-of-court ADR proceedings and provide advice to consumers. As you can see on the chart, in 2019, UKA received over 1,000 requests for instigating ADR proceedings and almost 2,500 for intervention. 51% of proceedings were concluded in favor of the consumer as part of the out-of-court procedures and 70% of interventions. Our actions have a real impact on our consumers' money. As part of interventions and the out-of-court procedures, UKA regained almost £1 million for consumers in 2019. It's over £6 million in the last 5 years. Each case is treated individually, but we group them into similar categories. The most common problems reported by consumers last year include invoice, fees, improper performance of service, termination of the contract, roaming, transfer of service, new provider. In Consumer Policy Department, we have also special helpline for consumers. Our helpline is open on weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Last year provided over 14,000 phone consultations.
We conduct 3 educational campaigns: Click Sensibly, Coding with UKA and I Know What I'm Signing. First 2 are dedicated for children, the last one for seniors. The campaign Click Sensibly is targeted at the youngest users of telecommunication services and their parents, caretakers and teachers, with the aim of promoting safe use of the Internet. Since 2017 up to 2019, 6,000 classes for 158,000 children were organized at schools in Poland. The students grade 1 to 5 learn how to use smartphones, computers, games and applications available on the Internet sensibly, how to protect their personal data and defend themselves against cyberbullying. During our workshops, we present educational movies. The animated one is dedicated for the youngest children. Each child and each teacher receives a leaflet with the most important information. We discussed more difficult issues with older students. Violence, hate, pathostream, sexting, these are just some of the phenomena that young people face today using the Internet. We do believe that it is extremely important to empower young people to deal with risks such as cyberbullying. As you can see, we have prepared educational films for the purposes of the campaign. We also distribute a special leaflet among the students and teachers. Programming is a language of the future. We support the development of digital competences among children and young people by teaching the basics of coding. Since 2017 up to 2019, 11,000 children learned the basics of programming during 600 workshops. In October 2018 and 2019, UKA took part in the Code Week. In total, 60 workshops for 1,500 children were held as a part of the event. Moreover, we don't forget about seniors, and we want to help them to be a part of the modern telecommunications world. During the last 3 years, we held over 400 events with almost 30,000 seniors. Under the campaign I Know What I'm Signing, we advise what to look at when we conclude a contract at home, when we can withdraw from it, and how to pursue claims. Our goal is to raise awareness of consumers so that they know not only their rights but also their obligations. The educational film for this audience resembles TV news. It tells a real-life story about an elderly woman who fell victim to a scam.
UKE publishes information on the current activities and basic rights and obligations of subscribers to telecommunications service on the UKE website and the subpage of the Consumer Information Center. We also regularly publish articles related to risk in cyberspace. We would like to encourage you to visit the website cic.uke.gov.pl, which is available in English.
Thank you for your attention.
Hello, my name is Wojciech Sadownik and I'm a Chief Specialist at the Bilateral Cooperation Unit in the Department of Foreign Affairs. Today, as part of UK webinar series, we will look at the development of digital services. For my part, I will present to you OECD guidelines and actions undertaken or planned by the EU in this area.
Hi, my name is Paweł Nowik and I'm an administrator in the European Affairs Unit. I will continue on the European Union's initiatives in the digital area, and in particular, I will present the so-called Digital Services Package and Data Strategy. I will also briefly mention some of other points on the European Commission's agenda.
Let us start with some data. According to OECD, 31% of adults have sufficient problem-solving skills for technology-rich environments. 74% of people use email, but only 9% take part in online classes. Less than 60% of people visit or interact with public authorities' websites. Only 11% small and 19% of medium enterprises perform big data analysis, compared to 33% of large entities. What can we do to improve these numbers? There is a growing need to increase effective use through the promotion of more sophisticated online activities. It is also important to close the significant usage gap between individuals with high versus low education levels for many key online activities, such as internet banking. Shift from an e-government to a holistic and user-driven digital government approach, while further improving online public services. At the same time, ensure coherent use of digital technologies and data across all parts and levels of government, and stimulate public sector innovation and civic engagement. Boost the adoption, diffusion, and effective use of advanced digital tools which drive productivity in firms. Promote investment in information and communication technologies and intangible assets, foster business dynamism and structural change, and support small and medium-sized enterprises to overcome challenges in adopting advanced digital tools. Ensure everyone has the skills needed for a digital world. Review education and training systems to empower people to prosper and workers to succeed, and better exploit the possibilities of digital learning. Raise awareness and empower people and businesses to manage digital risks to gain or regain trust in online environments. Another factor in the digital agenda is innovation. As you can see on this graph, about 1/3 of OECD country patents were in digital-related technologies, compared to about 60% in the People's Republic of China over the period 2013-16. What advice is there for policymakers? There is a need to promote startups and new firms, reducing regulatory burdens for startups, reevaluate regulations that may not fit the digital age, such as those that require a physical presence or a minimum scale, or seek to address information asymmetries. Artificial intelligence startups attracted 12% of all worldwide private equity investments in the first half of 2018, up from 3% in 2011, and the share is increasing. Innovation in the digital age relies on a range of inputs from the public and private sectors, including basic research, research and development, skills and intangibles, including data and organizational capital. Intangible assets like patents, organizational capital and software boost digital innovation. To boost digital innovation, there is a need for support and incentives, such as R&D tax credits and intellectual property systems that are adapted to the digital age. Foster knowledge diffusion through open innovation and open science initiatives. Open government data holds much potential to boost digital innovation for firms and the public sectors alike. Open by default policies and a whole-of-government approach can help. Digital technologies offer promise to improve productivity in sectors. Policy experimentation, including agile regulation and regulatory sandboxes, can promote innovation while protecting consumers. We will not accomplish the above mentioned before gaining trust of consumers and business. How can we reach this goal? Use risk management as a framework to develop policies to increase trust, including to assess and manage risks related to technologies, data, and cross-border flows. Help small and medium-sized enterprises realize digital opportunities by increasing awareness and promoting good risk management practices through public and private efforts. Privacy frameworks enable the free flow of personal data, spurring growth and social prosperity. Measures to increase transparency on the purpose and use of personal data collections and to enhance user access and control over their data are needed. Technological solutions can help increase trust through privacy by design. National privacy policies should be supported at the highest levels of government and take a whole-of-society perspective. More than half of privacy measures across OECD countries aim to raise awareness and empower individuals. Encourage interoperability of privacy frameworks across jurisdictions, including through national privacy strategies and other practical approaches. Digital security concerns, including malicious interference, are rising and hold back almost 30% of Internet users from providing personal information to online, social and professional networks. In addition, 1 in 4 Internet users in the European Union is concerned about payment security. Digital security needs to be a strategic priority for individuals, firms and governments, not a technical question. Managing digital security risk is the responsibility of everyone online. Digital consumers face challenges related to information disclosure, misleading and unfair commercial practices, confirmation and payment, fraud and identity theft, product safety and dispute resolution and redress, including when using connected devices where offline and online experiences are blurring. Terms and conditions are not effective to communicate important information to consumers. For example, only 17% of people read the terms and conditions of peer platforms in full. Other approaches are needed to protect consumers online. Now, moving on to the actions undertaken or being implemented by the European Union. Europe has always been at the forefront of innovation, and realizing the importance of the development of the digital services, the European Union has, in terms of addressing the skills demand, developed the Digital Education Action Plan to boost digital literacy and competencies at all levels of education. A reinforced skills agenda to strengthen digital skills throughout society, and a reinforced youth guarantee to put a strong focus on digital skills in early career transitions. Initiatives to improve labor conditions of platform workers for the sustainable growth of the platform economy. To meet the challenges AI has and will bring upon us, the EU has prepared the White Paper on Artificial Intelligence, setting out options for a legislative framework for trustworthy AI with a follow-up on safety, liability, fundamental rights and data. Has begun to build and deploy cutting-edge joint digital capacities in the area of AI, cyber, super and quantum computing, quantum communication and blockchain. European strategies on quantum and blockchain, as well as revised Euro HPC regulation on supercomputing, are examples of this. To ensure connectivity, a reinforced EU government's interoperability strategy will be rolled out to ensure coordination and common standards for secure and borderless public sector data flows and services. The EU has accelerated investments in Europe's gigabit connectivity through a revision of the Broadband Cost Reduction Directive, an updated action plan on 5G and 6G, a new radio spectrum policy program. 5G corridors for connected and automated mobility, including railway corridors, will be rolled out. Developed a European cybersecurity strategy, including the establishment of a joint cybersecurity unit, will review the Security of Network and Information Systems Directive and give a push to the single market for cybersecurity.
The European Union's digital agenda is tightly connected with the development of available digital services and the overall digital economy. From year to year, we experience more and more of online activity from both consumers and business users. The ways we shop online, communicate, search for information, evolve and improve. On a daily basis, we use such services as the online marketplaces, social media, app stores, price comparison websites, collaborative economy platforms, or simply search engines. They surely bring us enormous benefits. They make our lives easier. However, they also bring challenges for users as well as public bodies. The risks to safety of products, filtering of information, safety of our data, or fair competition. The fact that the market is to a high extent concentrated makes it hard for the new entrants to provide new innovative products. Soon, these risks will hopefully efficiently be tackled by the Digital Services Package, a new initiative by the European Commission. The initiative aims to tackle a range of problems we experience in the online world, and which so far have not been properly addressed by the existing e-commerce directive. We happen to buy counterfeit, dangerous or illegal goods online. The dissemination of illegal and harmful content has increased. That is of, among others, fake news or hate speech. Mostly it is algorithms today that decide what content should be taken down, what should stay. They can even promote such content. The transparency of such processes is limited. Likewise, the infringements of property rights are observed. Now, how to fight these unwanted effects of digital activity? The goal must be to improve liability and safety rules. Regarding the illegal content, notice and action mechanism will be improved. It will introduce obligation to verify legality of content when flagged by its users. On the other hand, there would still be no general monitoring obligation, an element important for the freedom of speech. If content was removed, we must ensure a clear appeal and redress procedure. The cooperation with authorities and trusted flaggers, that is, with trusted institutions with expertise on a topic, should equally be established. The transparency of algorithms and reporting obligations will enable effective supervision for the public bodies. A different part of the troublesome digital environment are unfair conducts by the largest digital platforms. They control the whole ecosystem. They became systemic. Network effects amplify their strength. Their unfair conducts further limit the competition and innovation. Business users are forced to deal with them if they want to have a piece of the digital cake. They may engage in promoting their own products over the products of other companies, to make use of their products dependent on the use of their other products. They may manage users' data in a non-transparent way. Their algorithms work in a non-transparent way. They pre-install services they own on the devices they own. Because they control the whole ecosystem, they are called the gatekeepers. The competition law has turned out to be not sufficient to deal with it. In consequence, we have less innovation and smaller selection of digital services. The Digital Services Act will introduce new obligations for these largest platforms. It will set a clearly defined list of practices, the so-called blacklisted practices. With the help of tailor-made remedies, it will also tackle specific behaviors. An example of such a remedy would be to grant access to gatekeepers' data by other company. The existing platform-to-business regulation will be revised to better answer needs of business users. Thirdly, the regulators will be empowered to gain further insight into their practice and impact on the market. A different initiative I would like to highlight here is the European data strategy. The digital environment very much depends on data. The volume of word data generated will be increased from 33 zettabytes in 2018 to an expected 175 zettabytes in 2025. The importance of data is undeniable. The digital transformation, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things applications require an effective legal framework. Europe's global competitiveness will be ensured while maintaining data security to release Europe's technological potential vis-à-vis United States and China. The common European rules and efficient enforcement mechanism will ensure that data can flow within the EU and across sectors freely. The European rules and values, in particular personal data protection, consumer protection, and competition law, are fully respected. The rules for access to and use of data are fair, practical, and clear, and there is a clear and trustworthy data governance mechanism in place. There must also be an open but assertive approach to international data flows based on European values. It remains to be seen what exactly legislative framework will be introduced by the Commission. Finally, let me highlight some other European Union's initiatives on this digital agenda. Improved electronic identity regulation will enable easy access to public services through the use of, for example, e-signatures. The Circular Electronics Initiative will improve durability of electronic devices, thus extending their life cycle. The e-health framework will improve prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and monitoring of health. The European Democracy Action Plan will protect democratic processes in the EU from any interference from outside. The Media and Audiovisual Action Plan, on the other hand, will stimulate access to quality content and media pluralism. This all will contribute to the true European digital single market.